The world is watching as a devastating new war engulfs the Middle East. As of today, March 1, 2026, a full-scale military conflict is raging between Iran and a coalition led by the United States and Israel. This violent escalation follows months of rising tensions, including a smaller-scale war in June 2025, and the failure of last-ditch nuclear talks just last month. The current conflict, however, began with an unprecedented and audacious move that has, irrevocably altered the region's political landscape. The opening salvos were not merely strikes on military targets, they were a direct and lethal assault on the very heart of the Iranian regime, a move with consequences that are now cascading across the globe and touching the lives of millions. The war began in the final days of February, with a stunning coordinated attack that killed Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Reports confirm he was killed in his Tehran office during a series of precise air and missile strikes carried out by US and Israeli forces. This operation was allegedly the culmination of months of intensive intelligence gathering by the CIA. The attack was not limited to the supreme leader alone. In a strategic blow aimed at crippling Iran's command and control, the initial wave of strikes also eliminated a significant portion of the country's senior political and military leadership, a move designed to create chaos and paralysis within the Iranian state apparatus. The list of high-profile casualties is extensive and shocking, representing a near-total decapitation of Iran's ruling elite. Among the confirmed dead are Mojtaba Khamenei, the supreme leader's son and a potential successor, along with the powerful IRGC commander, Major General Mohammad Pakpour. Also reported killed are the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, Lieutenant General Abdurrahim Musavi, and the Secretary of the Defense Council, Rear Admiral Ali Shamkhani. Israeli officials have claimed that this opening salvo successfully eliminated a majority of Iran's top military brass, with some reports putting the number of dead commanders as high as 40, a staggering loss for any military to endure. In the ensuing power vacuum, Iran has scrambled to form a provisional government. An interim three-member council has been established to manage the state's affairs until a new supreme leader can be chosen by the Assembly of Experts. This council includes President Masoud Pezeshkian, Judiciary Head Gholam Hossein Mohseni Ejei, and a senior jurist, Ayatollah Ali Reza Arafi. However, their ability to govern effectively is severely compromised as the US-Israeli coalition continues its relentless assault. US President Donald Trump has declared that the strikes will persist as long as necessary, while Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has vowed that the attacks on Tehran will only increase, signaling a clear objective of regime change. The conflict has rapidly expanded far beyond the initial strikes on Tehran, transforming into a multi-front war fought across land, sea, and air. The United States and Israel are conducting large-scale, ongoing aerial bombardments, targeting a wide array of Iranian infrastructure. The focus remains on leadership compounds, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps buildings, and critical military and intelligence facilities. The naval dimension of the war is also escalating. In a significant engagement, the U.S. Navy reported sinking 9 Iranian naval vessels, including a Jamaran-class corvette at the strategic port of Chabahar, severely degrading Iran's maritime capabilities in the early stages of the conflict, and asserting coalition dominance in the surrounding waters. In response to the devastating attacks on its leadership, Iran has unleashed a furious and widespread counteroffensive. The IRGC has launched massive waves of ballistic missiles and armed drones, targeting what it claims are U.S. military facilities across the entire region. This retaliatory campaign has brought the war directly to the doorsteps of American allies, with bases in the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia all coming under fire. Top Iranian clerics have issued religious edicts, or fatwas, calling on Muslims globally to avenge the death of Ayatollah Khamenei, adding a dangerous ideological dimension to the escalating military exchanges and raising fears of lone wolf attacks far from the primary conflict zone. The United Arab Emirates has found itself at the center of Iran's retaliatory fury. The nation's advanced air defense systems were pushed to their limits, reportedly intercepting an astonishing 152 of 165 ballistic missiles and over 500 drones. Despite this high success rate, the sheer volume of the attack meant some projectiles got through. Impacts from approximately 35 drones and falling debris caused the deaths of 3 foreign nationals from Pakistan, Nepal, and Bangladesh, and injured nearly 60 others. The attacks have forced a near-total shutdown of daily life in major hubs like Dubai and Abu Dhabi, turning bustling global metropolises into fortified ghost towns under constant threat. The conflict's reach has been felt across the Gulf. In Bahrain, the capital city of Manama was struck by debris from intercepted missiles, with pieces reportedly hitting the Crown Plaza Hotel and causing multiple injuries. The war has also spilled into vital international shipping lanes. An oil tanker named Skylight was attacked off the coast of Oman's Masandam Peninsula, resulting in injuries to 4 crew members, and reports that the vessel subsequently sank. This attack on commercial shipping, along with others, demonstrates a clear threat to the global economy. Meanwhile, other coalition partners are being drawn in, with a British Royal Air Force Typhoon jet reportedly shooting down an Iranian drone over the Gulf while conducting defensive patrols. The human cost of this war is mounting at an alarming rate, with non-combatants being killed and injured across multiple countries. In Iran, the human rights activist news agency has reported that at least 133 civilians have been killed and another 200 injured in the US-Israeli strikes. The true number is difficult to verify as internet and communication blackouts sweep the country. In a particularly horrific incident, Iranian officials claim that an airstrike hit a girls' school in the city of Manab, resulting in the deaths of between 148 and 153 people. The US and Israel are investigating these claims, with the Israeli Defense Forces issuing a denial of involvement, highlighting the chaotic and contested information environment of the war. Israel has also suffered significant civilian casualties in what is being described as the deadliest such attack of the conflict. An Iranian missile strike slammed into the city of Beit Shemesh, located near Jerusalem. The impact killed between 6 and 9 civilians, and left more than 20 people wounded. The attack has sent shockwaves through the country, bringing the grim reality of the war home to Israeli citizens who now face the daily threat of incoming rocket and missile fire. The psychological impact of these attacks, forcing families into bomb shelters and disrupting daily routines, is a heavy burden on the population, reawakening fears from past conflicts on a much larger and more dangerous scale. The war's ripple effects are creating humanitarian crises in already vulnerable areas. In Gaza, all border crossings have been sealed shut, completely halting the flow of humanitarian aid and preventing the medical evacuation of the sick and wounded. This blockade has caused food prices to double as the trapped population engages in panic buying, bracing for a prolonged period of extreme hardship. The closure of these vital arteries threatens to push the Gazan population, already suffering from years of deprivation, into a full-blown humanitarian catastrophe. The international community's attention is focused on the main belligerents, leaving Gaza's plight largely unaddressed amid the broader chaos of the regional war. Public reactions to the war have been complex and deeply divided, reflecting the fractured political landscapes of the region. In Iran, while many mourn the death of the supreme leader, there are also credible reports of celebrations in some cities, with people setting off fireworks and playing music in the streets, hopeful that the strikes might lead to the end of the regime. This sentiment has been amplified by exiled former Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, who has called for mass anti-government protests. Elsewhere, however, anger at the US and Israel is boiling over. In Karachi, Pakistan, at least 9 protesters were killed after they stormed the US consulate, a violent expression of the outrage that is spreading throughout parts of the Muslim world. The war's economic consequences are proving to be as immediate and disruptive as its military actions. The Strait of Hormuz, the choke point through which a significant portion of the world's oil supply passes, is now effectively closed to commercial shipping. Iran has declared the waterway unsafe and has backed up its declaration by attacking at least 3 oil tankers. As a result, commercial vessel traffic has plummeted by an estimated 70%, sending shockwaves through global energy markets and threatening a dramatic spike in oil prices. This disruption jeopardizes the economic stability of nations worldwide, demonstrating how a regional conflict can have immediate and severe global financial repercussions for industries and consumers everywhere. Global travel and communication have been thrown into chaos. Major international airports, including the world's busiest, Dubai International, have been forced to close. Airspace is now a no-fly zone over Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Israel, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE. This has led to the cancellation or rerouting of thousands of flights globally, stranding passengers and crippling the airline industry. Within Iran, the situation is even more dire. The government has implemented a near-total internet blackout, cutting 99% of international connectivity. This, combined with severe disruptions to landline and cellular phone services, has isolated the Iranian people and made it nearly impossible for the outside world to get a clear picture of the situation on the ground. The international community has responded with a mixture of condemnation and calls for peace, revealing deep geopolitical fault lines. China has condemned the US-Israeli attack as unacceptable, while Russian President Vladimir Putin labeled the killing of Khamenei a cynical murder. North Korea joined the chorus of condemnation, calling the strikes an act of illegal aggression. In contrast, Western allies and other global bodies have focused on de-escalation. The European Union's foreign policy chief has urged all parties to show restraint, and Pope Leo XIV has made a heartfelt appeal for an end to the spiral of violence. These diverging responses underscore the difficulty of forging a unified international effort to end the conflict. As the war rages on, the future of the Middle East and the wider world hangs in the balance. The conflict has derailed what were reportedly promising diplomatic talks between the US and Iran in Geneva, though President Trump has publicly stated he is open to resuming dialogue. The central question is what comes next. Will this war lead to the collapse of the Iranian regime and a new political order, or will it devolve into a protracted and even more destructive regional quagmire? For the millions of ordinary people caught in the crossfire, the immediate hope is simply for an end to the violence. The world watches, hoping that diplomacy can prevail over destruction and that a path to a lasting peace can somehow be found amidst the ruins.